Yeah, it says I'm on air. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, you're back on for me.
So IRL F1 2018. This is the F2 League. And round 4, Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. So hopefully we've worked out the bugs. So stand by with us for a second here.
Hasn't been a good start so far.
Still just trying to work out the bugs and get this thing set up on my phone.
Okay, just put the links in the chats.
Beautiful. Alright, then it looks like we're good to roll. So, welcome. Round 4, Spain, F2. IRL for the F1 2018 PS4 platform. And we are currently looking at Adrian Storm in the Force India. But let's run down the driver lineup. Obviously, we started with an 18-minute qualifying session, and we are now halfway through that, joining in late and having some technical difficulties. But it looks like King Julian, who is Marcel Haller, is got the fastest lap so far to 1:18.0. He is followed by
James
Killer. James Sands. Followed by Luxmark. Luxmark actually made, that's Joe Hollis. He made his F1 debut last week in Mexico. Had a subpar outing. We also had Wide Load Billy joined us in F1 last week as well. He's currently in the pits. That's Billy Mossam. He drove the Ferrari last week. The
That's
Explosions.
That's Tim.
Tim with a too difficult of a last name to try and pronounce.
Yeah.
Tim Bruce DeLeons is what it looks like. Then we have Adrian Storm, who got the second most votes last week in his F1 debut for the driver of the day. He started near the back of the pack in 12th and ended up finishing 4th. However, Jay Drawbridge ended up taking driver of the day last week in F1, but a very good outing for Adrian Storm last week. Then we have Little Romanino.
That's Nino Romanello. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Nino Romanello. Convicts Popeye,
cool
of
name.
course, is Chris Ryan, and then we have Tyler Thomas, who is Tyler Thomas. Shane Cayenne.
Commentator.
Yes, and Tyler Thomas will be joining me in the booth tomorrow. And Shane Cayenne looks like that is Shane Calliart. On the PA is Callum Anderson. Chaz Meister is Charlie Sampson. Leroy Farmer. Not as cool as Leroy Jenkins, but that is Lee Kelly.
Yeah.
Then we have Takis Cal 1978, which is Zritos Kalamitis. Sounds like he should be in the movie 300. Neon Rapid is your points leader, Jared Fosbury, and Ash R27 is, as far as I know, just Ash.
Yeah, we don't have the name for Ash, unfortunately.
So that is 17 drivers, so a pretty full grid today, and luckily left enough room for me and Lewis to commentate. You can also check out the IRL stream and pick up the action with Matthew Older and Sandro Sauerhall on the official IRL YouTube channel. So be sure to check that out and like, subscribe, and comment on that. And for anybody that is joining us, thanks for joining me on my channel. as we watch.
I'm currently watching Ash on Supersofts. He's on the lap right now.
We'll pick up Ash since he has yet to set a time in the Haas. Him and Jared Fosbury have yet to set a time.
That may be invalid.
Yeah, that was a little too much cutting of the corner on that one. Oh, and he's
Oh.
going way wide, and he's in the gravel. Oh, and he's in the wall. And Ash is not going to set a time today. Broken left front suspension. He is donezo. So we're going to pick up Jared Fosbury, who just came across the line.
18.9 in mediums. That's pretty good. 3/10 faster than his teammate, also on mediums as well.
That is Paco Suarez, Funky 4040. I think we missed him in our driver lineup.
Yeah.
But props to King Julian. That is Marcel Holly. He hasn't exactly had a very good start to the season. Finished 10th back at Coda in round 2, but ultimately had a DNF. And then in round 3, I don't believe he was present for 3 or 1. So good to see him get his first pole of the year if it can hold up in this last 5 minutes of qualifying.
Oh wow, 5 minutes left already. Past qualifying.
Looks like Fosbury is now going to be off the pace. So we'll pick up Adrian Storm in the Mercedes, who's actually moved into the second fastest time with a 1:18.127.
That is a good lap on softs. I'm just trying to see what Joe's surname is. Joe Hollis. Okay. Yeah, because I'm just going to say Joe Hollis's time is very fast on the mediums. If he did do him on mediums, he did. That's a good lap from Joe Hollis in P4 in the plan.
And Hollis has actually had a pretty good start to the season. He was 5th in round 1 in Canada. He ultimately had a DNF in Coda, but managed to come back and finish 2nd, his first podium of the year, round 3 in Mexico last week. And it looks like Adrian Storm's going to duck into the pits.
Who's on a lap?
So we will pick up James Hollis, who's currently out on the Super Softs. I'm sorry, this is James Sands that we're picking up in the Haas. He is 3rd fastest so far on the Super Softs. And the caution in Sector 1. And Sands is going to come across and start the hot lap. See a little bit, it looks like one of the McLarens is coming out of the pits now.
I think that may be Joe Hollis.
That would be Hollis in the McLaren. So we'll be sure to keep an eye on him. And King Julian ups the time, 1:17.4.
That's a good lap, that is, on super soft tyres. So it looks like Marcel will be doing a 2-stop for this.
Holler has upped the game, and Adrian Storm is now on the outside looking in. He was very close. He was within 1/10 of a second in that 2nd position, but now he's way off. In fact, Holler's the only driver to be in the 1:17s as we continue to watch Sands make his way around the track on his hot lap. Comes up at the top of the hill and onto the backstretch. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Ooh, the back end just kicks out a little bit there. Sands going down to this last set of corners here. Cut that one a little tight. That might invalidate his time. Now 1:18.359, but it looks like that was possibly invalidated. So he doesn't improve his time. We're going to pick up Hollis as he's getting ready to start his hot lap. It looks like he's out on these soft tires. So far he's run a 1:18.649. 4th quickest overall.
He's got mediums. It was faster than Paco Suarez, so that's really good, that is. That'll boost his confidence up for this remainder of the qualifying session. you got Nino here. And the
Nino just went third fastest, but Wide Load Billy has retired from the session. About a minute left to play. And it looks like Tyler Thomas is going to call it a day. He's currently 12th fastest. Wide Load Billy. Lee Kelly is calling it a day.
Yeah. He just cut it P6 on softs as well.
Oh, and look at this. Hollis runs very wide coming up into the top of the hill. You see one of the Ferraris is pulled off to the side there to let him go by. So even if Hollis doesn't set a good time on this particular lap, he'll have enough time to come across the start-finish line to at least start one more.
Yeah. He needs to be careful about his ERS on his next lap.
James Sands is going to call it a day as well. He's currently 4th quickest.
Jay Hollis, P2, 17.9.
117.997 on softs, as you hear Lewis Marshall say.
Yeah.
And very impressive time there.
I think yesterday in the practice, I did a 17.7 in softs. But admittedly, that wasn't a great lap from me.
And it looks like Hollis is going to probably call it after that. Session is over. Hollis is off the pace.
I'm just watching Jan Fosbury down in P10, like the championship contenders. He's having a shocking qualifying session so far.
And it looks like Adrian Storm's going to call it a day.
Oh, that Red Bull got in the way for Jared. I'm not sure who that was. I think it might have been Shane's AI car.
Yeah, we will pick up Jared Fosbury. As you heard Lewis say, he is the championship points leader. He's actually been off to a pretty good start this year. Had a 3rd in round 1 in Canada, and then backed that up with a 2nd place finish round 2, and then he went on to win last week in Mexico. So he's going 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, 3 consecutive podiums, plus a pole position back in Mexico. It was actually his 2nd pole position of the year. So he had 1 in Canada and 1 in Mexico, but he's definitely not going to get the pole here today. In fact, this is his worst starting position thus far this year.
So it's going to be 118.4 P5, so I think he'll be pretty happy with that. With some on the soft tyres.
So Jared Fosbury manages to muscle up a 5th place starting position. That's going to officially end the session. Give you the running order here in just a second. Hopefully try and get most of these names right. So Julian, that is Marcel Haller, the pole position, his first pole of the year. Luxmark was
Jay Hollis.
Jay Hollis, and then Adrian Storm. Nino Romanello will be starting 4th. Jared Fosbury, your championship points leader, 5th. James Sands, 6th. Lee Kelly is 7th. What is that? Charlie Sampson is 8th. Paco Suarez is 9th. Billy Mossam is 10th. Tim Brustelians is 11th. And unfortunately, I wasn't quick enough to catch everybody else.
I think one to watch for this race will be Paco Suarez. Starting on the mediums, he'll go long on them, unless if he gets damaged.
So this is my first F2 race of the year. I usually do F1 for IRL, so my notes are a little fresh. Stayed up late last night trying to get everything together for today. So if I don't know everybody's names, I apologize, but we'll work on it. And I may or may not do more F2 races as the season moves forward. But with SRL not racing today, had some free time to try and make this work.
I'm missing SRL.
No, there was no SRL today. There should have been, but there was not.
What's the next track? Oh wait, talk about SRL. I don't think Sandro will be very happy about that. Unless if Sandro's in this track.
SRL's next race is the 8th. And it looks like that will be Bahrain. They are looking to make up Russia at some point. That was supposed to be round 3, but I wasn't available to broadcast for round 3, so they had to cancel it. Sandro will be commentating on December 8th for SRL. And you can also check out Sandro tomorrow during the F1 race, 11:15 Eastern Standard Time, or...
It'll be 4:15 UK time.
4:15 UK time. You can check out Sandro and F1 then. I'll be commentating on the IRL channel for that tomorrow. And then also later today, you can check out the IRL Gran Turismo Sport Group 3 League. They'll be racing at the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit today, the 45-minute endurance race. I'll actually be partaking in that in the race. I won't be commentating, I'll be racing, so that'll probably end up being disastrous. And we're going to pick up the rest of the running order here as we left off at Tim Brustelins. So Shane Cayenne was... Shane Calliart will be starting 12th. Chris Ryan will be 13th. Tyler Thomas is 14th. Callum Anderson is 15th. Zritos Kalamidis is going to be 16th. And then Ash R27 will be rounding out the 17 drivers starting today's race. So 33-lap race today.
Interesting in that over 3 people are cutting on the super soft tyres. Marcel Holler, Wiley Billy, which is Billy Mossen, and Shane, I'm not sure what their surname is.
Lights out, and always a slight delay. There we go. Time to run what you brung. Everybody leaves in a puff of smoke. And a short run down the front stretch here. Good start there by the Sauber of Holler. And look at this on the inside. There's contact there, and around there's one of the Williams and one of the Haas's. Looks like that is Tim.
Nino. No, it's Nino and James Sands.
James Sands and Nino Romanello, unfortunately. And the top 3 are already starting to gap the rest of the field. Just a little bit. Adrian Storm, 3rd position there. Leader is Marcel Holler. He started on pole. Still some shuffling going on in the back. And Romanello has dropped all the way back to 15th position. I'm sure he's got some wing damage. I'm sure he'll alter his pit strategy at this point. Oh, the back end kicks out on the McLaren.
Great start from Shane in Red Bull in P6, even though he almost loses it as soon as to say. Up to P6, up 6 positions.
So now Holler has started to gap Hollis. And Storm is back to 3rd, followed by your championship points leader Fosbury.
Billy Mossen's fitting. I'm not sure if this is a wing change. Yes, it is. So he must
Kelly
have
has worked his way into 5th. Definitely got a little bit of a battle going on back here for the 7th spot. This is going to be... Oh, and this is Suarez and Tim as they bump wheels. Tyler Thomas is retired from the session. And Suarez is now coming back on 10, pushes him wide. You see bits and pieces flying off. Oh, and they're bumping and banging again.
They need to be careful.
They are pushing each other wide, and now it's become a 3-wide battle as you see the other McLaren there. Charlie Sampson get involved. Oh, and look at this on the inside. And that was the Haas of Ash R27 trying to make that move on Sampson.
I don't think Paco Suarez will be happy with Tim, because that was a bit dirty in the middle sector. So
there was definitely a lot of argy-bargy going on between Paco and Tim. Be interesting to see if there's any type of retaliation as they head down here into turn 1. See, Paco gets a little bit of a slipstream. Oh, and they do bump wheels once more. And Wide Load Billy has retired from the session. Immediately has a DNF on lap 3. Not sure what happened to him.
We could have a first safety car today. I think it'll be our first in F2.
And look at this, Paco now on the inside. He baited him and switched him. You see one of the Red Bulls is off into the grass. That was Shane Calliard. And now look at this, Tim is bumping and banging again. And Paco and Tim, these two are going to have words at the end of this race, I'm sure. Oh, and look at this, Tim pushes them very wide into the gravel.
That was dirty.
And Calliard, something has happened to Calliard. He has dropped all the way back.
Oh, Ash is gone.
Ash is gone, and so is Romanello.
Callum Anderson's crashed into Shane. And there's a McLaren.
Oh, and there's a big wreck on the middle of the backstretch. Lots of bumping and banging going on at the beginning. And while all this is happening, unfortunately, Marcel Haller has pitted and has come out 5th. Joe Hollis is now your leader in the McLaren and starting to pull away from Jared Fosbury and Adrian Storm.
We've got a battle here for seconds, yeah.
Oh, and Christopher Ryan is going to pick up a 5-second stop-and-go penalty, speeding into the pit lane, unfortunately. And Paco and Tim have still gone blow for blow back and forth as these two have exchanged rounds. And now Charlie Sampson has dropped out. So we started with 17 cars, and now all of a sudden we're down to 10, and it's only lap 4.
Wow. Joe Hollis looks like he's struggling, and then soft tyres. I guess he might have overheated his tyres, maybe.
So we've got essentially a 3-car battle for first place. You see all the debris back there on that backstretch at the top of the hill. That was where one of the crashes were. So we've got Hollis, Fosbury, and Adrian Storm running 1, 2, 3. And to think we worried about Jared in qualifying when he came up 5th, and he's already managed to get his way into the 2nd spot, and he's working all over the back of Joe Hollis' McLaren.
If the top 3 start fighting as well, Lee Kelly will be there as well in P4.
And now the DRS is enabled. And Fosbury is going to try and go around the outside as they head into the first section of corners. A little bit of bumping and banging. Fosbury is going to make it a way around, and he's going to make that move stick, but I think Hollis is going to try and come back.
I think he went for a switchback, but it didn't work.
And it looks like Adrian Storm is just biding his time, waiting to see if something will happen. If one of these guys will make a mistake, he'll be able to pounce on it. A lot of drivers were really impressed with Adrian Storm last week when he came up from the F2 ranks and raced in the F1 last week. He started in the back and finished 4th. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but it looks like he's a very patient driver thus far, considering how many cars have dropped out of this. You see Hollis runs wide at the top of the hill.
I'm just looking at Adrian Storm's ERS as well. He's saving his ERS is really good. He's on full ERS. So I think he's just trying to get the top 2 to wear out their tyres more.
While all this is happening, Fosbury hasn't necessarily pulled away from Hollis and Storm, but Lee Kelly has started to sneak his way into the picture. And you see Hollis' car is very twitchy. Oh, and he runs wide there. And Storm's going to take advantage of that and go around the outside. That's exactly what Storm's been waiting on, is for one of them to make a mistake. And he pounced when the time was right. Now, Marcel Haller has just set the fastest lap at a 1:21.434. He was your pole sitter, pitted very early.
Yeah,
he's all the way back at 8th.
Last time. What to overtake for Adrian Storm though, around the outside of turn 3, you have to be so brave to do that. And a lot of trust into the other driver as well.
Now can Adrian Storm close the gap to the championship points leader, Jared Fosbury?
It looks like Joe Hollis is struggling because he was leading, and now he's being caught by Lee Kelly as well.
So Adrian Storm is within the DRS range, but he's very far back, almost a full second. Lee Kelly is starting to sneak into the picture here on Hollis. We'll pick up Lee Kelly as he starts to close in.
It's a battle for P6 as well.
And KAMIKAZE has made the move on Tim. Yeah. KAMIKAZE, who hasn't had a very good start to the year, that's a good move for him. Get his way into the 6th position. Uh-oh. But it looks like he's just wrecked. He lost the back end of the car at the top of the hill. We were just switching back. And just as KAMIKAZE made the move, he crashes and destroys the front end of the car.
He also got a penalty with collision of Tim. But I'm not sure if there's contact.
I was just switching off of him and going back to Adrian Storm as I started to see the car spin, and as I came back, he was already into the wall. So we are going to go back to the battle here for 3rd, because Lee Kelly is now all over the back of Hollis's McLaren.
I think Adrian Storm's too far behind.
But Lee Kelly is close enough to make a move. He's thought about it, and he's going to duck back in line.
I know if these guys pit for a one-stop, they have to pit around lap 10, lap 11 to go in the mediums. So these guys will be pitting soon, so that will put Paco Suarez in the lead.
And Paco, we saw in the battle he was having earlier in the race with Tim, a lot of shoulder checking and argy-barging going on between those two drivers. I'm sure that'll probably be investigated after the race. Lee Kelly is close enough to make a move, but Hollis is going to take the more defensive line. Oh, and a good block by Hollis.
I think he moved twice then. I don't think that's allowed.
That's stupid if you can't, because it's a video game. It's stupid in real life. It's stupid in the video game. Let him block.
It's up to Sandro what he thinks about it. But I know in real life they don't accept it. But Joe Hollis is pitting already. So it's an early pit stop for Joe and on soft tyres.
So that's going to give up 3rd spot to Lee Kelly. And now the battle becomes between Adrian Storm and Jared Fosbury, and that has gotten mighty close here at the end of that front stretch. Adrian Storm is within striking distance of Fosbury.
It looks like Joe Hollis is on the 2-stop. He's came out on soft tyres. So I think that's his chances of winning gone. The 2-stop just isn't quick enough.
And again, they reached the top of the hill. Not much of a backstretch there coming up at the top of that hill. The DRS has very little effect there. Obviously more effective going down the front stretch. Really, there's just not enough. Oh no! Chris Ryan, who was running 8th. And now we've got a virtual safety car, and I've picked up KAMIKAZE to see if maybe we can see what happened to Chris Ryan's car.
Top 2 are pitting. Jared and Adrian's pitting.
So is Lee Kelly. So your top 3. And as Lewis Marshall called it, that is going to hand the lead over to Paco Suarez in the factory Renault.
I think the BSE's gone already.
That would be a huge disadvantage for the 3 drivers that pitted.
Yeah.
Virtual safety car's already gone because Paco Suarez barely even had to slow down. He's going to be a full song.
Joe Hollis, he's coming past Adrian Storm.
So if you take Paco Suarez out of the equation, the top 3 drivers that came in are now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And that's not true because Hollis moved up and Kelly dropped back.
I think Paco Suarez could still win this race.
And we're currently watching Hollis on the back of Fosbury.
Oh no, there's another yellow flag. It's Tim. He's on turn 2. Yeah, turn 2.
Oh no, and Hollis and Fosbury bump wheels as he tries to make a move.
Adrian Storm with a penalty.
So Hollis does manage to get around Fosbury, but Fosbury is going to have the DRS advantage coming down the front stretch.
Look at the gap just decreasing.
Oh, and Fosbury thought about it, but he cut back in line. So this race has really turned into a race of attrition. We started with 17 cars on the grid. We are now down to 9.
And you've got Callum Anderson, who's a minute behind Tim in P8. But fair play to Callum for sticking into it. Got a few points for today's race.
And it looks like Hollis is now starting to pull away from Fosbury. Your next closest battle right now is ultimately going to be Lee Kelly working on Adrian Storm. However, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and even 6th are all within 5 seconds of each other. So really anything could happen. And it's only lap 11.
They don't really get battle much with the leaders, so it's a nice change, really.
Well, for the most part, Fosbury's been so dominant so far this year, and I believe Tyler Rhodes had won back in Coda in a wet race where he had pulled out to a 14-second lead within 3 laps of the race.
Yeah.
So, lucky for Tyler, Tyler got the call up to Formula 1, so we should see him tomorrow during the F1 race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how well Tyler does in F1.
Lee Kelly has not been able to close the gap down to Adrian Storm, but Storm's been able to close the gap down to Fosbury again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hollis, even though he's 9+ seconds back of Paco Suarez, he's cut that time down from 14 seconds to 9. So, don't think Paco's going to be able to retain that lead the whole race if Hollis keeps moving at the pace that he is.
Yeah, I think Paco today is fighting Lee Kelly and Adrian Storm. I think if he gets in the podium, that'll be a really good drive from him. But I think the win today is probably Jared's in my prediction.
And now you've got a 3-way car battle for the 3rd spot. 3rd, 4th, and 5th you can throw a blanket over as you see they make the turn up the hill. Oh, and Storm trying to make a little bit of a darty move there.
Adrian Storm is very good at looking after his battery, because he's still got nearly 100%. Now he has got 100%. The only problem is, I'm not sure if he's actually using it. I don't think he is.
if he's not using it, that makes the drive that much more impressive that he's that fast without having to use the energy recovery system, as I'm sure most of these other drivers are.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis. I mean, I don't necessarily play the game, but isn't there an auto setting for the ERS if you really don't know how to use it?
Yeah, you can put it on automatic if you're not sure how to use it, but I'm guessing it's got it on manual, but I'm just, he's using it now. It looks like he just uses it for the main straight, which is quite interesting.
He did lose a little bit of time there in that last chicane, but he catches up big time with the DRS and the ERS on that front straightaway. He caught back up to Fosbury, no problem. Lee Kelly is right there hanging with him. Runs a little wide coming up that sweeping right-hander up the hill.
This is like a really good fun track to drive when you get it right. So I'm sure like these three are loving it right now. It's fighting.
And as we've been talking about these three drivers, Paco Suarez has managed to extend his gap over Hollis to 10.5 seconds. So Hollis' tires may be starting to go off, or Paco's picking up the pace.
Jared's catching him as well. So we could have like a four-way fight. Yeah, about a four-way fight.
This is true. Hollis is starting to maybe have some grip issues. We saw before his first pit stop, the back end of his car was very squirrely, and you see these three cars have now started to close the gap into Hollis. So yeah, you're right. It could be a four-way battle here in the next couple laps.
Looks like Hollis isn't very good on his tyres, so that may be a factor for today's race. And I'm sure he'll try and improve his tyre wear.
Well, this is a very hard track to set up for, if I'm correct. There's not very much as far as the straightaways go. There's a lot of elevation change. And he might be running too much downforce, and that might be burning the tires off in some of these slower corners.
Yeah, like you said, it is a really hard track for a setup. So I'm still looking for a setup for tomorrow's race in F1. And yesterday's setup I used yesterday, but obviously I just overheated my tires, my front tires, which was a shame. But it looks like Jared's got a really good setup, and Storm especially is a really good setup.
Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Primarily third through 5 is the ones that we've been watching. That's Jared Fosbury in third, Adrian Storm fourth, Lee Kelly in fifth. And really impressed with all three drivers. You see Callum Anderson picks up a 3-second time penalty there at the bottom of the screen. But really impressed with all the three of these drivers that they've managed to race this close to each other for this long without any mishaps, especially with so much carnage in the earlier part of the race. You can see how many DNFs we've had. That was just in the opening few laps of the race. The most recent retirement that we had was Christopher Ryan, and that was back on lap 9 or 10, I think. So.
And we had that big crash as well with Ash, I think it was, or Nino.
Yes, Ash at the top of the hill. Oh, and you see Fosbury runs wide there. Storm's thinking about it. Thought twice, though. Looks like Adrian Storm's actually a little particular about picking his spots when to pass, which is really a sign of an intelligent driver when he knows he can stuff a car in there and when he can't.
Yeah. Oh, a bit deep into that hairpin then.
And it looks like these guys, as you said a couple laps ago, really started to close the gap to Hollis. Looks like he's really starting to struggle a little bit with those tires.
I think if Adrian Storm can get past Jared, I think he could win this race. He looks the fastest driver of all of them.
Hollis runs wide again. A little bit of a gap now. Looks like Lee Kelly's going to try and make a move on Storm down at the end of the front stretch. Oh, and he manages to get around Adrian Storm. Good move by Lee Kelly.
Oh, missed that.
Good move by Lee Kelly.
I'm just
Storm
watching
just didn't
Jared
get
and Joe
a
Hollis.
he just didn't get a good run coming out of that last sector onto the front stretch, and Lee Kelly took advantage. And now Kelly's starting to close the gap down to Fosbury. Fosbury's closing the gap down to Hollis. So we are about to have that four-way car battle for second, third, fourth, fifth.
If these four fight as well, this is perfect for Paco Suarez. Just extending that gap. So when he pits, he could like overcut him, kind of.
He's going to need a little bit more of a gap than that, though. The pit stop delta here is about 21 seconds. So he's going to need at least 10 more seconds to pit comfortably and be able to come back out in the lead.
And I think Joe Hollis will probably pit this lap or next lap. Because his tyres just don't look very good right now.
Yeah, Hollis has been struggling with that car. I'm surprised he's managed to keep it this far up in the running order this long. And you see, one of the Force Indias is coming back out on the track. That's Callum Anderson. And Fosbury's going to go around the outside of Hollis. Hollis is going to try and fight back with a switchback. He's not going to be able to make it stick. Oh, and he runs very wide at the top of the hill.
I think he had the same issue as me yesterday. It just overheating your front tyres. It's so easy on this track.
And that's going to set up Lee Kelly. Kelly gets on the inside. Oh, and Hollis shuts the door. So a fantastic move by Fosbury to pick up the second spot and take it away from Joe Hollis. Hollis is now fighting to stay on the podium. Lee Kelly, as we look out the back of his car, and Adrian Storm. Kelly is going to try and make the move on the outside.
Oh.
Wasn't able to make it stick. Oh, and he's going to try and get on the inside here. It's an interesting place to try and pass. And he's going to try and get down there on the inside and cut through here.
Oh, great move.
You can't go too wide through here. It's not going to work. You see, he backs up. Oh, and Hollis runs wide. Kelly's going to take advantage and get by Hollis for the third spot. That's also going to leave the opportunity open for Adrian Storm to make a move. And Storm's now on the inside. And it's going to be 3 wide going into turn 1. Storm thinks twice, backs out of it. Good driving by Adrian Storm. That could have been catastrophic for 3 cars.
Look at this down the inside, maybe. Off turn 3.
And now you see the Force India here. That is Callum Anderson. He is not a part of this battle.
He's a lap down, I believe. Yeah.
He's not officially a lap down, but he is way off. Actually falling back into 8th spot. And you see Adrian Storm was able to make the move there.
Great racing from Lee, Adrian and Joe then. A lot of respect on track then, which is really nice to see.
And we got to give a little bit of a props to Callum Anderson, because he is actually the fastest car on track right now since he's on fresh tires. And he is, while he has stayed with this group of cars, he has not tried to make a move to get around any of them, because he knows it's not a battle for position. So good driving by Callum Anderson as well.
Oh, just hit the curb too much then.
So there's Fosbury, Kelly, Storm.
Joe Hollis is pitting.
And Hollis is finally going to make his way into the pits. Meanwhile, Paco Suarez has maintained his 10, 11 second lead.
I think Paco will probably pit on lap 24, maybe. Then go into softs. He could go into sleepers if he could stretch the mediums more. But still, we've got a fight here between Adrian Storm and Lee Kelly for the last podium spot.
And these two aren't even that far behind Jared Fosbury, so this could very easily turn into the 3-car battle that we've watched for the majority of this race. It could be a 3-way car battle all over again as we look out the back of Adrian Storm's car for no reason. Thank you, Codemasters. So we'll pick up the onboard action. A little bit of a twitch there by Adrian Storm as he heads out that last corner there. Up to the top of the hill.
It looks like Paco Suarez is pitting finally. So my pit prediction was wrong. pitting this lap.
So that's going to hand the lead over to Fosbury. Lee Kelly is going to run second. Adrian Storm third.
Oh, Lee Kelly down the inside of Jared's.
Paco is going to come back out.
Lee Kelly just passed Jared for the lead into turn 1.
And I just missed that as I was switching over to Paco to see where he was going to come out of the pits. Ultimately fourth. So now Lee Kelly is your leader. Jared Fosbury second. Adrian Storm is third.
Great race so far from these guys. I'd like to see everyone's reactions to this race after this race is finished on the main IRL channel with Sandro and Matthew.
Yeah, be sure to check out the IRL YouTube channel. They're live streaming this as well on the official YouTube channel for IRL, and they'll have driver interviews after the race, so be sure to check that out. We'd definitely like to have a word with Paco about his battle with Tim earlier in the race, but a lot of these guys would love to talk to Kelly, Fosbury, and Adrian Storm about the battling that they've been doing this whole race.
And Joe Hollis as well, don't forget. Look, he's been up there today. But just the wrong... Well, it's just been unfortunate with his tyres. As he sets the fastest lap.
Hollis does set the fastest lap. Part of the reason why his tires don't last.
Yeah.
Hollis has very good short run pace, but as far as a full race pace, it doesn't look like he quite has it there. And I'm actually looking at Fosbury's car, and it looks like he's got a little bit of an interesting setup. His car seems to have a little bit more rake to it than the rest of the cars in the field. It looks like his back end is set up just a little bit higher than the other cars. So whatever setup he's got seems to be working for him, but you can definitely tell from the visual standpoint it's definitely a little different than most of the other cars on the track. I'm sure he's not willing to give away any of his trade secrets, but it might be something to look into.
Just on them 12 lap olds, about 13 lap old mediums, he's looking really good at the minute for the race win. As he's looking to pass Lee Kelly into turn 1 with the RS.
Oh, and he's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, and a crossover. And look at this, Fosbury is going to get the switchback. Adrian Storm thought about following him through the hole.
That's a really good lead from Jared's then.
So a good move by Jared Fosbury to bide his time, keep the tires cool, and make a move when the opportunity struck. Adrian Storm still sitting back there looking to pick his spot.
He got past Suarez, possibly going to catch up by the end of the race.
Suarez is currently 7.5 seconds behind this battle. It's ultimately a three-way battle right now for the lead of this race. First, second, and third covered by half a second.
Just point out again, Adrian Storm.
Oh, and Kelly drops the left side tires onto the grass. That almost ended in tears for him. Looks like he's given a little bit of a bump there to Fosbury. Those two are going to pit in, and Adrian Storm is going to stay out.
What are they pitting for?
So Adrian Storm is now your leader, and Suarez is now going to be able to pick up the second spot as he's going to work his way around Callum Anderson, who is a lap car.
I thought you could take the mediums to the end. But we're going to see if Adrian can.
Adrian Storm may try to take those mediums to the end, but Paco Suarez has closed the gap down to less than 6 seconds. Joe Hollis has come back to fight off the other two for third, so he's managed to gain third spot. Jared Fosbury and Lee Kelly are fourth and fifth, and you can't separate these two right now. The gap between them is only about half a second.
These two have been at it all race. So it could be a new little rivalry.
So I'm surprised they came in to switch over to softs. I'm surprised.
Yeah, same.
At this point, you wouldn't just jump on the super softs and try and run them to the end.
The super softs only tend to be like 5 laps on this track. So the supers on this track is more qualifying tyre. But if you actually use them in qualifying.
And the gap is shrinking, continuing to monitor the time between Paco Suarez and Adrian Storm. Suarez just set the fastest time. He's the first driver to crack the 120 barriers in the 1:19.953, and he's less than 5 seconds back from Adrian Storm. So Storm on the mediums, Paco on the softs. And Paco really, aside from his battle in the beginning of the race with Tim for the 6th spot, Paco's really run a pretty quiet race and used pit strategy to get where he's at. Meanwhile, we've been watching all the action with Lee Kelly and Jared Fosbury. And it looks like they're coming on the back of Joe Hollis.
Paco Suarez is slowly catching up Adrian Storm. So a late possible fight for the win here.
So
will be really good to see.
We'll continue to monitor the time gap between first and second, but we're about to watch another 3-way car battle unveil itself for the last spot on the podium. We've got Hollis, who has now been caught by Fosbury, and Lee Kelly. We've got a caution in sector 1.
It's Tim. He's going at turn 2 again. He's had an awful race today.
Well, he may have not had the best race, but he'll manage to squeeze out a couple of points if he can hang in there. Oh, and Kelly gets the right sides on the grass that time. Kelly's starting to get a little more aggressive. That last right-left complex heading out onto the front straightaway. And now Hollis is going to take the more defensive line. Oh, but Jared's going to work his way around the outside and just shut the door on Hollis, and he's going to take over the 3rd spot. Can Hollis fight back and get the position back?
Oh, they're both on wides. That's the McLaren and the Williams driver. It's going free.
I feel like Lee is starting to get a little bit more aggressive as the laps wind down in this race. He'd be looking to score his first podium of the season. Jared, meanwhile, is looking to make it 4 podiums in a row.
Oh, Joe just picked up a penalty. Could be crucial. I'm just keeping the eye on the gap between Paco Suarez and Adrian Storm. Less than 4 seconds now.
Still continuing the drop. Oh, look at this. Late move by Hollis. Oh, but he can't make it stick. Fosbury does the crossover and gets the position back.
It was a good move, but I think he just broke a bit too late.
And I think this is the point of the run where Hollis is going to start overheating his tires, starting to drive a little bit more aggressively. Looks like the back end's starting to slide out a little bit more. Meanwhile, Lee Kelly is still trying to find a way around him for the 4th spot. And we've got a car coming out of the pits, and that's going to be Tim. And if it's anything like earlier, Tim may... Nope, he's going to get out of the way. Wasn't sure how Tim was going to let those guys approach, seeing how aggressive he was earlier in the race with Paco.
He did well then. That's not the way, because that can be a weird corner.
And Paco is now within 3 seconds of Adrian Storm as the laps continue to wind down.
Lee Kelly right behind Joe Hollis as well.
Kelly's going to try and make a move. He tries to make the same move Hollis tried to do with Fosbury, and it's the same result.
Nice
switchback by Hollis. So Hollis tried it on Fosbury. Kelly tries it on Hollis. Neither time does it prevail. I really feel like if Kelly could find his way around Hollis, he could probably catch back up to Fosbury and fight for that final spot on the podium.
Lee Kelly just needs to keep his head. He doesn't want to get too excited, I think.
Looks like he's got the more preferred line as we hop on board. It looks like he's going to be able to make the move this time. And he does make it stick. He's going to pick up the 4th spot. Now we'll have to wait and see if he can close the gap to Jared Fosbury for 3rd position. Meanwhile, Paco Suarez has closed the gap down to Adrian Storm to just about 2.5 seconds with 5 laps remaining.
I'm just looking at the medium tyres on Adrian's car. They don't seem that bad. But I'm sure the hill awful.
Well, I think Adrian has proven today that he's a pretty intelligent driver. He may be just saving those tires a little bit and trying to keep them cool. And if Paco gets within striking distance, he'll at least have a little bit in reserve to try and pick that pace back up. You see the time looks like it's stabilized right around 2.5 seconds from now. We'll continue to monitor as we continue to watch Lee Kelly. And Lee Kelly is closing the gap into Jared Fosbury. So
Jared's had a poor exit.
We could have a battle here for 3rd here as the laps wind down towards the end of this race.
Yeah, Jared's had a really poor exit from the last corner as well.
Oh, and Kelly, here we go. He's going to try and make a move. Oh, it's very tight.
Jared holds on to it for now.
Jared managed to hold him off for the time being.
Oh,
Kelly is in there!
Move.
And you see they're coming up on what looks like that is Callum Anderson again.
I believe this will be Lee Kelly's first podium of the season.
Ooh, and he slides a little bit wide there. He's probably getting a little bit of aero wash off in the back of Jared's Renault. And meanwhile, Hollis is actually starting to close the gap back up to these two, so it's going to turn into a 3-way car battle again. Anderson gets way out of the way.
1.7 between Paco Suarez and Adrian.
I was just getting ready to say that. The fight looks like it's about to be on for the lead as it's down to 1.6. So we're going to have 2 battles going on here. This could be a very interesting last few laps of this Spanish Grand Prix. Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. 1.3. I'm going to switch over to Paco.
I'll keep it on Leroy.
He is now able to see the backside of Adrian Storm's car.
I think Lee Kelly's is right on Jared's tail right now for P3. You just can't get past. Jared's defending really well here.
Switch back real quick. Pick up the action. But it looks like Paco is now going to be within DRS range of Adrian Storm.
Oh, that was a poor exit from Lee Kelly. I don't think he'll get him here. No, he won't. Paco's almost in DRS.
He was in there coming through that last sector, but he just missed out. I don't know if he'll hit the timing mark in time.
Yeah, he has. He has got DRS. But he's not using it. Why is he not using it? Or is that just a glitch?
Possibly a glitch, because he's now within 3/4 of a second of Adrian Storm, as we will now watch the battle for the lead.
I'm just watching the battle for thirds again. And it doesn't look like anything's happening.
I think both of these drivers have really put in a stellar drive today, Adrian Storm and Paco Suarez. Adrian has been a very intelligent driver all day, but very smooth, very quiet. Paco had a little bit of some rumble and tumble in the beginning of the race with Tim. Ultimately, Paco came out on top. And it looks like he is starting to make a move. He's within the 3/4 of a second. Wasn't able to make a move at the end of the backstretch there.
After this lap, there's going to be 2 more laps of this race. So it's going to be a really hard challenge for Adrian to keep that Renault behind him.
Suarez is within striking distance. Oh, looks like
Paco has
Paco gets a
much
really
better
good run
exit.
coming out of that corner. Side by side, it's a drag race down the front stretch. Suarez is going to try and take the inside line. Storm cuts it back inside, and I don't think he's done with him. Can Storm fight his way back?
He hasn't got a grip. Then tyres have gone. Oh, what's happened? Adrian Storm.
Oh, and he's gone off. Oh, it looks like his rear tires he's got some issues with.
He's got left rear puncture.
That tire is destroyed.
He has to pit. That's his race
Oh,
over.
the car goes around and he's into the wall. He's into the wall. There goes second, third, fourth. And the race is falling apart for Adrian Storm.
Oh, I feel so bad for him.
Unbelievable turn of events.
I've drove with a puncture, and it's just impossible to handle.
So he is going to have to limp his way back to the pits. Meanwhile, we will pick up the battle for what is now second spot between Lee Kelly and Jared Fosbury. And it's going to end in tears, unfortunately, for Adrian Storm.
It looks like Mercedes crashed from 2016, but he just won by himself.
So Paco Suarez has started the last lap. He's 15 seconds clear of this battle. Lee Kelly looking to finish. He's going to pick up his first podium of the year if he can stay in front of Hollis. But I know he wants that second spot from Fosbury. And look at Hollis just zoom into the picture under braking. Heavy on the brakes, late into the braking zone. I think Hollis wants to try and make a last-ditch effort to try and pick up that third spot.
I think Lee and Jared, I think their tyres are like gone as well.
Adrian Storm is in the pit, and he will be able to switch tires and come back out and finish this race in what should be the 6th position, no problem for him.
That's made me think about tomorrow's race, because I was planning on doing the one stop as well, just that Adrian was trying to.
Oh, and look at this. Hollis took the more defensive line. I think he was trying to take the line away from Hollis. Oh, look at this little bit of bumping and grinding there in the back. That's Hollis and Kelly. Kelly's too far back now to make a move on Fosbury in the second spot, but Hollis is going to try and maybe make a last-ditch effort here. A late lunge, he's not close enough to try and make that work. Paco Suarez is going to be your leader. Jared Fosbury is second. Lee Kelly will be third. Joe Hollis fourth. Your pole sitter was Marcel Haller. He will come across in fifth. An absolute gut-wrenching heartbreak for Adrian Storm. He will finish this race in the 6th position. He made a lot of right moves today. The one move he made wrong was the one-stop strategy.
Yeah, he drove. Without that puncture, he drove a perfect race.
Meanwhile, 7th is going to be finished off. That is going to be Zritos Kalamitis. In 7th, Callum Anderson in 8th, and Tim Brundelins in the 9th position. Those guys will all pick up points. Unfortunately, 10th through 17th will get nothing as they were all D and Fs. And very exciting race. So for the few people that are watching on my channel, you guys should definitely switch over to the IRL channel and pick up some of the driver interviews that they're going to have afterwards. But really, this was a very exciting F2 race all the way through. And again, you heard Lewis with me here in the booth. Lots to think about for him tomorrow as he's going to partake in the race. And if the Renault won too.
I'm hoping I can cut down the lead in the championship in the F1 race tomorrow. Because I couldn't race last week, unfortunately.
You are currently, what, 32 points out of the lead?
Yeah, behind Felix and Jay, I think.
So there's your finishing order. Paco Suarez, Jared Fosbury, Lee Kelly, Joe Hollis, Marcel Haller, Adrian Storm, Zritos Kalamitis, Callum Anderson, Tim Brundelins, Christopher Ryan, And then 11th through the rest, that is a Charlie Sampson,
Yeah.
Shane Calliart, Ash R27.
Ash. Nino. I forgot what his surname is.
Yes, Nino Romanello is
James
14th.
Sands will be 15.
James Sands, Billy Mossam, and Tyler Thomas will be 17th. He was the first car out. Now, you can check out me and Tyler tomorrow on the IRL YouTube channel as we will be streaming and broadcasting the F1 race. This has been F2. You can also check out me later today. I'll be taking part in the Gran Turismo Sport GR3 race at the Nürburgring 24-hour track. That'll be a 45-minute enduro race, so be sure to check that out. Like, subscribe, and comment to my channel. Like, subscribe, and comment to IRL. And again, next week we'll be racing again at the British Grand Prix. No, French Grand Prix, Silverstone.
I have no idea off the calendar.
I've got it in front of me. December 16th is going to be F1 at the French Grand Prix. So that is Paul Ricard.
I won't be able to race.
And December 15th will be F2, also at Paul Ricard. You can also check out our friends over at SRL. They'll be racing at Bahrain next week. So we're off next week, but we'll be back on the 15th and 16th. SRL will be racing on the 8th at Bahrain for their round 4, and I'll be racing this afternoon. So I want to thank Lewis Marshall for being with me today. It's been a hell of a run today, and
Great
definitely
race
looking
today.
forward to the next round. See you at the next race.